Donations to help with the expenses of this project can be given here. Genesis 1 verse 2. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness was on the surface of the deep, and God's Spirit was hovering over the surface of the waters. God saw the light, and saw that it was good. God divided the light from the darkness. Genesis 1 verse 5. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was evening and there was morning, the first day. Genesis 1 verse 6. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from their waters." Genesis 1 verse 7. And God made the firmament, and divided their waters which were under the firmament from their waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Genesis 1 verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven. And there evening and the morning were the second day. Genesis 1 verse 9. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. Genesis 1 v 10. And God called the dry land earth, and there gathering together of the waters called he seas, and God saw that it was good. Genesis 1 verse 11. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, there herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself, upon the earth." And it was so. Genesis 1 verse 12. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and there tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself, after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1 verse 13. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Genesis 1 verse 14. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and years." Genesis 1 verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of their heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so. Genesis 1 verse 16. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. Genesis 1 verse 17. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Genesis 1 verse 18. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness, and God saw that it was good. Genesis 1 verse 19. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Genesis 1 verse 20. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." Genesis 1 verse 21. So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1 verse 22. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the water in the seas, and let their birds increase on the earth." Genesis 1 verse 23. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. Genesis 1 verse 24. And God said, let the land produce living creatures, according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind. And it was so. Genesis 1 verse 25. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1 verse 26. Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock, and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. Genesis 1 verse 27. So God created mankind in his own image, in their image of God he created them, male and female he created them. Genesis 1 verse 28. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on their ground. Genesis 1 verse 29. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. Genesis 1 verse 30. And to all the beasts of the earth and all the birds in the sky and all the creatures that move along their ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. Genesis 1 verse 31. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Donations to help with the expenses of this project can be given here.